Sukha Perek Gimel Mishnah Ches. Ein oigdin es halulav elo biminoi. One can only bind the lulav, arobas, hadassim together with its own species, Divrei Rabbi Yehuda. Explains the Bartanura, the end of this Mishnah, the Rabbi Yehuda learns from Pesukim, that the lulav, arobas and hadassim, tzorich eged, need to be bound together. Therefore, as this is a mitzvah, the mitzvah of eged, it needs to come from one of those species, its species, the lulav, hadassim, arobas, b'minoi, only with its species. Because if you used another species, another type, another material for the eged, as there is a mitzvah of eged, that would be included in the arba minim, and you'd end up with not 4 minim, but 5 minim. And therefore, one must be very particular what one uses as the eged to bind the lulav. Rab Meir says, no, afilu bimshicha, even with a cord that's perfectly in order. Rab Meir says one does not need an eged. It's not a mitzvah, intrinsic mitzvah of the arba minim. If you wanted to have you wanted to bind the lulav, that's fine, it would beautify the mitzvah, but it's not intrinsic part of the mitzvah, and therefore whatever you use for the binding would not be included in the arba minim, and you'd end up just with 4 minim. Omer Rab Meir says, I've got a proof to my view. Maaseh, it happened ba'anshe Yerushalayim, with the people of Yerushalayim, shoyu oigdim es lulavem b'gimonios shel zahav. They bound their lulavim, gimonios shel zahav, says the Bartanura, chutei zahav. These were threads of gold. And they use this for the binding. From there you can see that you can use whatever you like for binding. There's no mitzvah of eged. Omrulai, they said back to Rab Meir, when they used the golden threads, that was an extra for additional hiddur, additional beautification of the mitzvah. But down below, that's where they did the real mitzvah of eged. And when they bound it down below, this was with the species of the lulav, not another species. The Bartanura concludes, we hold, like Rab Meir, lulav ein sorech eged, although there was an answer back to Rab Meir who was rebutted, as it were. Nevertheless, we do paskin that ein sorech eged, one does not need an eged. We paskin like Rab Meir, therefore you can use whatever you like for the eged. And although there is no particular specific mitzvah for eged min haTorah, nevertheless, says the Tiferes Yisrael, mitzvah la'ogdoi mipnei zeh keli v'yanvehu. As it beautifies the mitzvah, although there is no chiyuv to have an eged, the minig normally is to use an eged to bind the lulav, and the reason for that is because it just beautifies the mitzvah, and therefore it's worth doing that. That concludes Mishnah Ches.